Okay, so when we left off, we were moving our head emoji image around. What we want to do is save that inside the app. So we're going to put over here defaults, and this is going to be our user defaults equals user defaults, and this is kind of a special file that you're never really going to see. But it's a little bit like a property list where you can save keys with values, okay? And what we can do is we can save our last location for the head inside of there. So let's dive right back down to the bottom of the file again, and yes, as promised, let's go over here and we're gonna say that when we've actually let go of the image, okay, so when the state has ended, we're going to take our defaults and we're going to set, you can see you got all these different options over here, value, bool, double, float, int, and so on like that. But we don't have in here is like a CG point option for this. So what we'll end up doing is we'll create a string, okay, and then we'll just use value any. Actually, they all kind of amount to the same thing. Watch this again. Hold on. Set. Go like this. Right here. Even though they show you different possible values you can put in there. There it is. It's still just value for key, and so on like that. But so yeah, let's go ahead and we'll make the basically a string version of our location value. So we're going to say that we'll say let emoji location, this is going to be a string, we'll make this equal to, and Swift has a way to pull out a CG point value from a string. The string just has to look something like this. Let's say it's like 95 comma separated 34, and with these opening and closing brackets in here. So this is basically what we want to recreate string wise, right? Okay, so to do that, what we need to do is put that right there, plus the string version of our emoji location dot center dot x. And as a Swift 3, you're going to get a little complaint over here. What it wants to see when you write something like that, and this, to me, is kind of crazy, but they want you to write describing and then throw that in there. Okay, so once you got that part, we want to keep adding on to this, right? So we want to then put in here our comma. Okay, let's put that in. And then if you want to just grab that whole chunk right there, replace out that 34 with the emoji location dot y, and then finally we need to end all this by adding back in here that closing bracket. And if you did want to kind of test to make sure this was actually resulting in what you think it is, okay, you can put in there emoji location, and then we're free to save this as a string value in our defaults. So we're going to say defaults dot set emoji location for key, and here's kind of I guess maybe the tricky part to this. We need to figure out what the key is going to be, but we also want this key to be unique to whatever image we're currently editing, right? But that's wait, hold on, let's just see what's going on here. Oh, that's an easy one. And yes, that error really makes sense, doesn't it? Yeah. You are what you are. No, of course we wanted the emoji image.center.x. Okay, so what we can do here is for the key, again, we want this to be unique to whatever emoji we've got, is we can just make the key equal to our emoji array, all right, and the selected num, okay, which again is going to result in a value like phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4. So that's going to be our identifier for part of the key, and then we can just add on to that location, right? So ultimately this would be like phase 1 location. That's going to be the key for it. And then what we'll do is So yeah, it's getting saved. Let's go ahead and just run this real fast. Let me get rid of that one print statement that I've caught in here that's spitting out the those values, and that way we can just kind of move this around real fast, and we can see what the what that emoji location is going to end up being. Okay, so we're going to caption this. There it is. Move it around. And 62, 107. Let's put it over here. Yep, that looks like it's about at 0, 0. You know, oh, well, I did something stupid. Okay, but yeah, obviously we can see that that is that's working. So what we're going to want to do is now the reverse of this, where we pull that default value back out again when we add in that image. So let's type in here, add emoji. Yep, well, I had it. There it is. Add emoji. Okay, and now we're going to go ahead and just leave this in here as it is, but let's come down, I guess, inside of here, and then we'll just, you know, reset the X and the Y to those previous values. And let me just keep this together with that little chunk. Okay, so we're going to want to know if, first off, if the defaults actually has a value for that. So we're going to say if defaults.object for key, and remember, we know what that key is going to be. It's going to be this right here. Well, at least we know the first part of it. It's going to be that plus our location. So if that does not equal nil, then that means that we've already got a location that we've saved for that default value, in which case we'll go ahead and move it to that. And let's see, yep, likes to go red and likes to go plain. Okay, so for inside of here, then we're going to say that our the new location is going to be, let's just put in here, let previous location, so it's going to be CG point is going to equal CG point from string, okay, and then that string is going to be this part right here. Okay. And remember, we saved the center point locations for this, so what we can do then is just put in here, emoji image dot center is now going to equal the previous location. And let's see, do we get any complaints? Nope. Let's go ahead and run it. Oh, there is one. We have to put in here as string. That should work. So it's forcing a string value out of that. You know, at times this can be a little bit dangerous in the sense that it could crash. But, you know, we know that it's definitely a string that we're saving inside of there, right? And we at least know that it exists. So it's a, you know, as far as I'm concerned, it's pretty darn safe. We're not going to ever put some other type in there. And let's see what happened here. Did I permanently mess up the simulator by whatever I did? Swiping up to the control center or something. Let's try to run it again. Okay, starting up. Caption this. And hey, sure enough, it did move to someplace different, but let's be sure that, there we go, get rid of that. So I'm going to put it over here. Again, I haven't put in anything yet to kind of step my way back to the intro screen. So let's go and just run it fresh one more time. I mean, really what we should do is put in here a another column for the actual, you know, emojis that you can choose from. Does make the most sense, doesn't it? But sure enough, there you go. You can see that it's now moving back to over there. And if we run this again and do it with another image, because we always want to test the absence of something true, right? So let's go to one of our guys that we have not set a value for yet. So let's go and or default value for. So again, he goes right to the center. Move him down there, and then here we go. Promise this will be the last time we test for right now. Okay, and there it is. Caption that guy. Boink, it goes right back down over there. All right, so that does seem to be working quite nicely. Let's go ahead and give some serious thought to adding our images as the as another column over here, and I mean these little emoji guys, right? So we got plenty of room for it, you know. To do that, shouldn't have to make a big change. Let's go over here to a number of rows in component. So instead of 2, we're going to go to 3 over here. And then now when we're in our, kind of character or emoji edit mode here, not the intro picker, right? This is going to be column 1. Oops. Brilliant. Here, let's just start this with an else if statement. So 0 is now going to be our emoji array.count. Component 1, which is really our second one over, is the sayings array. And then, of course, the last one is going to be that actions array. And then, let's see, for our width for component, here we're going to have to make some changes. So we're going to go and say if our picker view is going to be our intro picker. Okay, in that case, that's fine. Otherwise, what we want to do then is make you be 1/3 of the width. And let's come on down here again. All right, so same change that we had previously. What we're going to do is say else if this time around 0 is going to be our little emoji guys. Component 1 is going to be the sayings. So we just change this to emoji array. Okay. And did select. Still haven't really done any selecting inside of here, but that's okay. Okay, I think we might have it. Let's give it a shot. But obviously, we will be running some code inside of here real soon when you actually select a row, because now if you end up selecting a different emoji, we're going to want to make a change based on that. All right, so there we go. Yeah, so obviously if you move to this guy, then we're going to remove the previous head and reposition it for that other one, and so on like that. So that'll end up being a lot more intuitive for the user. Then they can kind of spin through all these different images and spin through all these guys, and then this will be what they edit with over here. Okay, so yeah, let's make that happen. All right, we got the time for it. In our picker view, what we're going to want to do is test to see if our picker view equals the, maybe what we should do is see equals intro picker. I kind of like being consistent with our else statements in all of these, because previously we've gone through here and each time we test for the intro picker first, and then we just leave the else statement up to being our emoji picker. So let's keep that going even if we don't do anything inside of here. And then what we'll say is if the component equals 0, so this is going to be our emoji column, then we want to react to that by taking our emoji image, right, and then removing it, remove from super view, and then add emoji image, right? Because we will have, well, actually we need to also then change our selected number is going to be our emoji picker dot selected row in component, and that's going to be the whatever selected row we have in that first component wheel. So that'll change. Then we'll remove the current emoji image, then just add one back. Let's see what happens. We're now at the point where I'm just making this up as I go. Alive. Hopefully it works out. Okay, click that up. All right. Hey, sure enough. Cool. And actually this will give us more of kind of a live view of, so we're going to put this guy in the top right, go back over here and change him now. Hey, look at that. He goes back to where we last left him, and so on like that, right? Pretty cool, huh? Change him out. He goes right back over there. Yeah, that's a nice little setup. Okay, let's come back in a new video where we will obviously we got a lot to do, but let's handle all of the moving, rotating, and scaling, and then we'll worry about these saying images, right? Okay.